Yo everyone, this is Julie and we are back with Mage Wars. Today I'm playing against Reddice with Beastmaster with my Pentagram warlock. Pentagram Adramelech warlock, I should say. So you can see the book down here. The plan is to open with Pentagram and Mana Shard. Then I want to get out my demons. The demon package for this one is an interesting one because I try to play the I dare to call them the neglected demons a little bit because you don't see them too often. Because you in general don't see demons too often. I try to go with blood demons, sanguine hunters, combustion demons. I had more, but now I'm only running one. I have afflicted demons. I have wildfire imps that usually want to be cast later in the game, and have a Skelex that I really want to try out. So, what is the plan of the book? The plan of the book is to get a pentagram going early. Then I want to cast the blood demons. I want to ritual them. And then I want to buff them with a defensive card. In this case, it's the Brace Yourself. Why is it good to ritual blood demons? So in general, you want to ritual of Calig your regeneration guys. The blood demons do not have regeneration, but they have vampiric, which allows them to heal once they deal damage. So while not being the prime target for rituals, they are still a decent target for rituals. So Reddice Diaries here is going with a double flower, no move turn 1 into leather helmet and a pet falcon, if I remember this correctly. So pet falcon turn 2, 8 mana. Yes, this aligns perfectly. Pet falcon to combat flyers as if he knew it. Yes, blood demons are usually quite strong when your opponent is low on damage dealers to air creatures. That makes them very survivable because they only have 11 armor, 11 life and 1 armor, which is almost in the range of ranged guys. So creatures with the range attacks, but they are melee attackers and are flying. So when your opponent is low on anti-air stuff, basically the blood demons put in a lot of work, but usually you see the first 1 or 2 blood demons going down to attack spells in most cases, and also by burst damage in 1 round because they can heal off every round. This is also why I choose to go with the Brace Yourself, because Brace Yourself is very strong when you are getting burst down in 1 or in 2 rounds, or maybe sometimes even 1 round. So turn 2 or turn 3 rather is rinse repeat, same as turn 2. I get second blood demon, second ritual, second brace, while Reddice goes here with the super secret tech anti-air creature Crusader Griffin. He is a very interesting air unit, maybe a little bit overpriced. He is strong, especially because if your opponent does not have flying creatures that can hinder him, he can always charge out or is fast and has charge, so he can always go out and back in. So he basically deals 5 dice of damage every turn, which is very strong. And if you can put Lion Savagery on him, it's even 7 dice piercing 1. But he suffers almost from the same problem, I dare saying, that that also the blood demons suffer from. He has low defensive stat line with health and armor. So instead of 11 armor, 11 health, 1 armor, he has 9 health, 2 armor, which is about the same. So here the falcon attacks into my guarding blood demon, because if you guard with him, he takes damage first and heals after, which I found very surprising, but Reddice has a dodge on his pet falcon, so the counter strike gets dodged, and I don't even have the chance to reveal my brace yourself because all damage dealt was critical damage, which is a little bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. It's his initiative though, so this blood demon is looking almost dead. There can be an attack spell into a charge from the Griffin for 5, and this is not looking good for my first blood demon here. You see, Reddice actually talking with me here about whether I put this video up on my channel, and you're welcome. I do it. So, what is happening next? The plan for my book is to heal the blood demons. So, what is usually a good thing for me here is the demonic reward, the ability you usually get to use the least with the Adramelech. Actually, smoldering curses is something you can almost use to your potential in every game, because you have a lot of curses, you put curses on your opponent, you have a lot of fire, you benefit with your fire. Fire weaving, almost the same, you get out burns and then you move them to the desired target. What is even harder to do is when you have the burns and you have demons and you get to attack the burned creatures with your demons to heal your demons. So this is what I plan to use here, the demonic reward. I drop the combustion demon that allows me to place a burn on a creature in its zone. So I burn my opponent and then I attack with the vampiric guy into a burn, so I heal from the vampiric and get an extra heal for attacking a burn target. I of course hope to deal 3 damage here with the bite, because it's always rounded up what you heal with the vampiric. So if you deal 3 damage, you heal for 2. He only deals 2, which is average. Oh, fine, I'm not complaining. So he deals 2, heals 1, and I get to heal another one for the demonic reward. Here we see spray barbs from my opponent. I reveal the brace because I really want to keep him alive. There was a block also already earlier, I think. Yeah, the Falcon's attack was blocked, but spray barbs does roll crits, and because of that my blood demon is almost dead, and it's not looking too well, especially with this Griffin here. So Reddice doesn't even need to have a second attack spell. Just the Griffin hit alone will be enough, because you can't guard flyers. Because if you guard with something, the guard is always on the ground, and a flyer can always attack a flyer. He does not care about guards on the ground, which is very thematic. And also the way it works in this game, I use a Chains of Agony on the Griffin, because then he gets damage whenever he moves. It's a cheap curse, it buffs my fire streams, so the plan is to attack the Griffin next turn. So ideally I want to throw down an attack spell, deal some damage, and then finish it off with a blood demon. Also it triggers the bloodthirsty from a blood demon, so he can attack even over 4, and I get a big roll here. While he whiffs to when he tries to kill the damaged blood demon. It's a typo here, should be a C, but I call justice for the unfair barbs, because on average he should not have died here, and he didn't. But of course it was unfortunate for Reddice to see his Crusader Griffin not rolling 2 crits with 5 dice, which would have been enough to kill off this blood demon. The burn does go off, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. I would have liked the burn to stay off longer on the Falcon, because then my guys can heal off for more. So also we see an Iguana regrowth on the Crusader Griffin, so he goes up to 11 life and also removes one of the damage tokens. on him, so he was at 7. I wanted to deal 2 more damage to him this turn, but since he now has the Iguana buffed life by 2 and also regens 1, I don't need to deal 2, but I now need to deal 5 damage, which is a major difference. So, what is happening? I'm getting out cheap creatures now from my Pentagram because I need my mage to deal something immediate now. If I kill these griffins, I get or these creatures, both creatures actually, I get some long-term advantage. And here, I use another sneaky trick you could do here. With the Adramelech, I use the Sanguine Hunter. He's a underpriced creature, basically. You get a very good creature for only 3 mana, but you need to damage to place 2 points of damage onto a friendly creature. So oftentimes you see it used on himself because he always is a friendly creature. Sometimes you see it on the mage because then you try to get a regeneration effect or a theft of life going for the mage. Here I use it on the blood demon because he's at 0 damage and cannot heal, but the damage you put here he can heal off because he's attacking into a burn. And while you see bad attack from my side against the Griffin, only dealing 1 damage, and Reddice absolutely murdering my other Blood Demon. Also, the hit from the Griffin versus the Blood Demon was pretty nice, I dare say. So I get 1 mana on the Pentagram for attacking into the Griffin, and I somehow expected the Griffin to die, so my second card is a curse on Mr. Reddice, which is in this case a Magebane. I always like having Magebane ticking on my opponent. Also, I try to not always clamp up too many creatures in the same zone for, well, zone attacks or whole area damaging effects like this Consecrated Ground here. I forgot to reveal the Magebane. I do it now for the spell. I get the 1 damage, I get the extra buff for fire, so Smoldering Curses. Deal 1 more dice with the Combustion Demon, what doesn't make a big difference. I only roll 2 damage, it's fine. Not complaining. Just mentioning it here. So this Consecrated Ground here does damage my creatures while not damaging heals. That's basically it. It does not heal the Griffin for extra because it already has regenerate 1, and it does not remove 1 damage or heal 1 damage from holy creatures. It gives them the regenerate 1 trait. So 2 times regenerate 1 trait does not stack. So it does not heal the Griffin for extra. But it would have healed him if I would have dispelled, or if I would have dispelled the Iguana regrowth. So I have a fake deploy on the Pentagram this turn. I have put a card there but won't do nothing. And we also see me making a joke here in the chat. Not too important. So Mr. Reddice is enchanting his mage. I will try my best to kill off this Griffin here. Has done enough damage to my creatures, and this time I manage to do this and murder the Crusader Griffin. That means, unfortunately for me, that my Blood Demon might have his last turn in this arena now. But luckily this time it's not a 5 crit thing, but my Brace Yourself works. So I block 3 damage, only take 1, hit the Falcon back because I have to. I'm bloodthirsty, Falcon is a legal target and it is damaged. So I need to attack it. I'm hoping for 3 damage to heal 2. I can't. All fine. So, But there is another curse going on to my opponent. I'm trying to mana save, if you see this, because I don't deploy from the Pentagram and I don't go down to 0 here, because I want to get more bigger creatures out of the Pentagram. Ideally, I want to replace my dying blood demons with even more blood demons, because usually, I already mentioned it earlier, the first ones often get killed. So this is even the plan here. Attack spell even into the brace. It's not very likely, but it's possible. 1 damage and 2 damage, so this is a pretty decent outcome actually. Luckily for me, the Consecrated Ground only deals 1 more damage, so there's still 1 more action that needs to be put into this Blood Demon. So I was saying, usually the first 1 or 2 blood demons you can expect to get murdered by attack spells and anti-fly attack, but this is why I'm running 4. And in that case, when my blood demons get heavily targeted, I want to replace them, because in most cases blood demon 3 and 4 should be harder to kill than 1 and 2. But if the mana doesn't line up too perfectly, I can either go with Afflicted Demons, which are also demons I like a lot. They deal weaks. They start with weaks and can deal weaks to your opponents to make your opponents weaker and themselves get stronger. And what I also can do is just deploy back-to-back Wildfire Imps when I'm starting to put burns on my opponents, so I get those teleporting into the zone where a fight takes place every turn. So this is basically, these are my late game creatures when the fight is too far away from the Pentagram zone, because you can get immediate effect out of those guys. All you need to have is a burn condition somewhere, which you want to have anyways. So I feel like Mr. Reddice is running out of attack spells, and he goes with a last resort Dazzle, rolling 1 damage. It's a 50-50 here for him to kill the blood demon. He has 2 blanks and 1 normal damage. If he rolls that, he cannot kill the blood demon. And if he rolls 2 normal, crit 1 or crit 2, so the other 3 possibilities, it's killed. So it's plain 50-50. He won that. Props for that. So we see the Dazzle from Mr. Reddice. We see my Combustion Demons starting to deal some damage on the Beastmaster. I remind him here on the Mage Bane damage, while he starts to deal some damage to my mage. I should get 1 mana on the Pentagram for attacking the Beastmaster, which is on the Pentagram right now. And my mage will put some more damage on the opponent. I'm mainly hoping for a burn here, so I can heal my Sanguine Hunter. Also in deploy phase, I did neither go for Blood Demon nor the Afflicted Demon, but I want to try out Skilax, the Taunting Imp. He can get a taunt effect on the opponent, which forces the taunted opponent, if he is not psychic immune, to attack into him. And I think alongside Sosruku, which is a ferret for the Beastmaster, you also have him that can put out this type of effect. Also you have the Thor Bodyguard, it's a soldier for the Warlord. But if I see this correctly right here, only Sorcerix and Skilax can also taunt mages and force mages to attack into them, which is like super valuable, because then you can make your opponent lose a cast, which is very important, or very useful and very strong when you're pressuring him, because then this is 1 cast less he can use for mage defense. And since I am so experienced with Adramelech Warlock, or Warlocks in general, I am not, this is a joke, I just want to give him a try. So this is why I cast him. I have big hopes. be back in 2 seconds. Alright, I'm back. So we see a luminous blast going down on my mage, getting a daze and putting myself up to 8 points of damage. Luminous blast is a perfect spell if you fear some more attack spells raining down on you, because it feels awful to lose mana and your attack spell into a daze condition. And also we see Reddice last round going with the regrowth belt, and this turn going with the elemental cloak. So the Falcon changed his mind and now tries to kill the Skelex, and the Skelex manages his first 60% defense. The 6-up is a bit more than a 50-50, I think. It is 58%er. And I get out the cheap unholy armor this turn, which damages all my creatures and also my mage by 1. Yeah, I just want to try it. I think it's strong. I can get it out for 0 while the opponents pay 5 to remove it. And I plan to have regeneration or theft of lives going for my mage for the damage regeneration, and I want to have burns on my opponent so my demons can heal off the burn. Unfortunately though, they need to... I also have a mark for death here on... Reddice, by the way, buffs fire attacks from a mage by 2, 1 for the mark for death, 1 for the smoldering curses, and also buffs all the little attacks from my demons. I have 3 dice piercing 1 on this little sanguine hunter versus 2 armor but 1 remaining after the pierce, and I need to deal at least 1 damage to get a heal for the ability, because it's attacks and damages an enemy creature with a burn condition. So this is also what I mentioned here in the chat, never heal. A little bit unfortunate, not very important, but of course I want to get any little advantage that I set up for. I have tried to get these 4+ burns, 5+ burns it is, 6+ here, but I get another 1 for my ability, so it's a 5 and up burn, and I'm dealing those to mainly get the regeneration going on my guys, and of course I'm a little bit sad if it doesn't work out, but this is also the life of the Adramalech. You need the burns, you need the curses to stick around to do your things. Here I am getting rid of one of my worst enemies. Flame -2 is not something I want to see. Okay, now it's gone. So I get the flame -2 because it's also hindering my combustion demon's attack. So the last turn he only rolls 2 dice then, because it's 2 base, 1 for the ability and 1 for the marked for death, so it's 4 -2 because he has a fire type attack. And here you see Reddice go with an attack spell on my mage. Hellbolder, quite a few attack spells hit my mage already. The combustion demon is guarding against the falcon because he's fast. And now my wildfire imp can teleport. This is why I spent 1 mana to attack the beastmaster for 4 dice. Automation is broken, so the wildfire imp, whenever he targets something with a burn condition, he rolls 5. Should only roll 3. So the automation gave me here 6 dice, but I cancelled it and rolled 4 manually. And he deals 3 damage because the Reddice is now at 1 armor and he has 1 pierce. And the sanguine hunter takes the mage 2, while I get a defensive enchantment on my mage, which is a regrowth. So for this Adramelech I like going with the Unholy Armor and Regrowth as a defensive tool. So this is like my main sword of defense. I have a very cheap armor, I have some regeneration effects, and I want to extend this regeneration by, if possible, thefting, by being a filthy thief and stealing the regeneration effects of my opponents. Also, you see some rarely seen card from the core set, the Cobra Reflexes, which grant a creature defense. Now, after I think the core set being out for 8 years, it's pretty safe to say that there are a few very strong cards that were released in the core set, but also a few cards that you could call overpriced. And Cobra Reflexes is one of them. So the Cobra Reflexes, whilst being strong, is just a little bit too much on the expensive side. Probably should be a little bit cheaper. It's not the Mage Bind, I think it's the base cost, or it being level 2, because it rarely sees play in the games. So now I am sticking to my plan, what I said earlier. I am planning to get out Wildfire Imps now, because wherever Mr. Reddice goes here, my Wildfire Imps, they will follow. As long as he has a burn condition, which fell off, so I want to have more burn conditions in the future. And yeah, you see the burn is removed. And we see a Dispel, I think, and a heal. Red dice. Not a Dispel. What was it? Ah, it's an enchant on me. I'm sorry. So it's an enchant on me. And a heal on his mage. He takes 2, heals for 8. While my demons follow. The Falcon tries again to finally kill my combustion demon. He completely whiffed last turn, rolled 0 damage. Now he manages to finally kill him. While Mr. Skilex tries to follow the mage to do his job. The Wildfire Imp attacks into the defense, so this has been a very good round for Mr. Reddice, taking almost 0 damage. While I'm just trying to not die to more burst, because usually if your opponent aggressively attack spells you into the face, you should expect him to run more attack spells. So once you've seen the first attack spells, it's very often a good decision to armor up and get some defense going. So this is why I chose to go with the armor and the regen and the brace, while I'm also going with the Unholy Reversal to take some advantage of the regrowth belt. Very often you see people dissolving it as soon as they can, but with this Dark Mage, or with this Adramelech, and also with Dark Mages in general, nowadays, speaking since about a year, since Academy Necromancy came out, I am trying more and more to just take advantage if your opponent heals, because there is Theft, there is Unholy Reversal, and both have a precondition, that is someone having healing or consistent healing, expected healing, and regeneration is exactly that. So right now, as I'm seeing it, there are 2 options. What your mage should do when your opponent plays some regeneration. So, of course, you should not let your opponent get away with it. Either you take it away with a Poison Blood or a Dispel or a Dissolve, or you try to take advantage of that via Theft of Life or Reversal. That would be my tip. Not in all cases, but quite often you want to do this, I think. So, Mr. Reddice has an Enfeeble on my mage, which makes me slow, so I can only move 1, and then use my quick cast to cast a curse on him, which is, in this case, Theft of life. So I get even more regeneration going on my mage and take his regeneration away. It does not, or because it was cast this round, it of course did not work on the regrowth belt because that was blocked by the reversal. He cast one of healing and uses the spell, because you can see it also here on the right. It's a quick spell, so he takes mage bane damage for that. And I will reveal the Theft of Life to reduce that amount of healing by 1 and heal myself instead. While my demons are coming closer to his mage, and I make sure to use Skelex last, because then his falcon cannot attack my mage, but has to attack into the Skelex. He's not a pest, so you have to attack him if he's guarding, and it works out, because the falcon is going for a wildfire imp and manages to kill it. So now you are seeing me having 3 demons out, and I will get another demon next turn, while I have 2 defensive enchants on myself and an enfeeble, while my opponent has 1 defensive enchant and 3 curses. And Mr. Reddice is at 25 damage while I'm at 6 actually, because I healed for 2 with my regrowth and for another one with the Theft of Life. The regeneration stacks, which is a very good thing to have. So it's looking quite well for me here. We will see how Mr. Reddice tries to wiggle himself out of this one. I also have 14 mana. It was a mana saving round for myself last turn. Because of the enfeeble, I could only use 1 spell. For the next turn I will get Afflicted Demons going, because I have the feeling the fight moves, because he's fleeing from my mage kinda. You see me following him around, like from here to here, down here, back here, so he's constantly trying to gain some distance to my mage. And if he goes either more up, which would not be too wise, because then he's of course closer to my warlock, but if he goes to the right, that makes him closer to the pentagram, and then I can also deploy demons which do not need to teleport to get into range. So I can use normal demons, and I chose to go with Afflicted Demon in this case. Here you see a very strong card versus Dark Mages. In most cases remove curse. You can remove as many curses as you want, and you even get a discount for 2, so you can destroy as many revealed curse enchantments on the target as you wish, and at the end you gain even 2 mana for that. So you get rid of multiple actions with 1 action and even come ahead mana wise, if your opponent does not have a war zone, which here is the case. So he pays 12 mana to get rid of 3 curses and destroys 3 actions for myself, and also gets rid of one of my mage abilities, because now there is no curse attached to his mage. And I am still trying to play the long game here, so I will dispel the enfeeble to gain more mobility, and then attack spell him. I need to use the quick cast first, so that I can still move here and do something. If I move first and then dispel, my turn is over. So this is why you dispel first and then move and do whatever you want to do. I'm just hoping for the burn. I do not get the extra buff for smoldering curses. I hope for the burn. I don't get it, but precondition is to get through the defense, through the 50-50 defense in the first place, which is already worked out great for me, so not complaining here. It worked out last round. I'm not too sure about 2 turns ago when it was cast, but so far it's close to the 50-50 success rate that it should have. Do you see my guys trying to attack and deal some more damage on the beastmaster? Skelex does not roll damage, but he gets a taunt, which will help me in the future rounds because the beastmaster now has to attack into Skelex, which was the main reason for him being cast. Whitefire Imp also burns, so rolls only one attack dice, doesn't get any damage, all fine. And now, because my curses are gone, my opponent will regen for 2 with his regrowth belt again. Now I am going with another afflicted demon, but I'm pretty sure that this is a fake deploy yet again. So I'm very low on mana, so I can't see myself spending 6 mana on the afflicted demon here. That only leaves me with 4 mana for the round. I usually want to get more curses and even more fire going this turn, I think. So yeah, we will see what happens. We can of course have a sneak peek here. I have a Hellscape and a Theft of Life. I want to get more of this juicy regeneration, and I of course have a lot of thefts, so I want to use them. And I want to get a Hellscape going, which puts a burn on every creature in the zone. So, and then I can move burns from my creatures to my opponent with my fire weaving ability, and also it grants another dice for fire or for flame type attacks for my fire spells here. So ideally I want to get the buff for Smoldering Curses and the buff for Hellscape to get some big dice rolls out if possible. So here on the left you see what the attacks are dealing to him. I have a few small creatures attacking, dealing a few small hits, while my mage, I think I should gain 1 more mana on the Pentagram for attacking the mage. Hopefully I do this. While my mage just double moves, and now I have to decide if I want to use the Hellscape or the Theft of Life. The wall denied me 1 action here because I was forced to double move, and I'm going with the more fun card. I'm not too sure if Theft of Life would have been the more the better play if you look at it from a power level perspective, but Hellscape is definitely the more fun card to play because it gets more burns into play, and usually Hellscape helps me a lot when I want to damage my own creatures and see some burns dropping off my opponents. Here it's a little bit different though. So you see the burn sticking on the Beastmaster, which is surprising. Burn dropping off of Skelex and of the Thunderrift Falcon. The Skelex should actually heal 2 here. I think I forgot about this. This is a very new condition for me. Skelex heals when he is in the same zone in the upkeep phase. When he is in the same zone as a burn condition in the upkeep phase, he will heal for 2. But then I get burn for 2 on my demon and a burn for 2 on my other demon, which is the fair punishment for playing Hellscape in a zone where 3 of your own guys and only 1 opponent is. So here you see another Magebane going down on my opponent. This will be more curses. Basically I want to freak out my opponent here because now he sees himself standing in a Hellscape and worrying about fire type attacks, while I just curse him and go with the curse plan because I can do that too. And the curse plan is also very effective if my opponent gets fire resistance or just a lot of armor going. See a very strong hit from my afflicted demon, and he even manages to transfer a weak. So next turn he will hit for 4 dice. Reddice is trying to get his mage to better health totals with the Wand of Healing. While I reveal the Mage Bane, and since it's a spell, he will take 1 more damage for this yet again. And with his main action, he has to attack into the Skelex. My evil plan finally worked out with Skelex. While Skelex attacks the Beastmaster again after his action phase, so I get the taunt token back on the Beastmaster. And that's game. Actually, I deal lethal damage to Reddice. Actually, he just adds the damage up, but I could move burn tokens. I have the Mage Bane and have the Molochs. So before next upkeep, before he has an opportunity to do something again, that's it. Good game to Mr. Reddice. I wish you good luck with your future experiments playing other mages than Warlord and Paladin. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one. Julie out. Stay hydrated.